Hello race fans and welcome to Bristol Motor Speedway. Joined by my side is Will Roberts. Will, how's it going tonight? Will, you got me? Uh-oh. Hello, Will, can you hear me now?
Got you now, yes indeed. Do you got me, Chris?
I do.
All right.
Hopefully that continues on. Anyways, welcome to Bristol for the BNR Cup Series. Will, how we doing tonight?
Doing wonderful as always. How about yourself?
Oh, not too bad. We have a nice smooth night here tonight. We could be set up for some great side-by-side action here as long as these boys can keep the patience going and get the heat into the tires before they get excited.
Exactly. That's what it's all about, keeping the tire underneath you tonight.
It's like we've got 16 starters tonight. The pace car is pulling off. And the green flag is out.
Yes, Jaden Sanchez going to lead them away through 1 and 2, but okay, Jaden's still in the lead. My apologies. I thought that was Tiller. Sammy Archibald in the 21 car, filing into the 3rd position, but trying to take that position away is Chris Cornett. Oh, a bump from the back of the 21 from the 45. That's going to send the 21 around. Looked like the 45 of Austin Moore was just able to drive it in deeper into the corner than Archibald right there, and just gets into the back of the 21.
.45 makes contact in the back of the 21.
Short track racing at its finest right there, Chris. That's what we're going to see all night, I do believe.
Just gets in there too hot and drives right through them. And they kind of stack up behind him.
Drive-through penalty to serve at the start of this race, so I'm not sure if he had made the commitment line or not to make his penalty. So this could help him out if he did hit the commitment line before the caution. Like you said here tonight, Chris, 16 starters here at Bristol. This half-mile, high-banked short track. World's fastest short track. That's what it gets labeled as, or branded as.
The last great Coliseum.
Yes, that nickname as well. Yeah, can almost have to imagine what it could be like back in the day, in the Roman cathedrals. What it must have been like to witness, the chariot racing back in the day. So these cars here tonight are getting anywhere between 120 to 130 laps on a full tank. So some drivers, there's a few that think, well, if you have enough cautions, you may be able to go the distance. So that's Who knows, Chris? Who knows?
Not me, but I think we're gonna find out soon enough.
60 laps to 120 laps, you know, on tires. Just all depends on who can make them last, like you were talking about at the top of the show. Getting ready to finish working the first caution of the race. And green flag back out in the air, Chris. Lap number 9 of 150. Jaden getting another good run through turns 1 and 2. So there's
Oh, we got a couple on the wall
here
behind
to
him.
be ran. Oh, yes, indeed.
Selner was one of them.
Here?
Alright, let's see if we can see what happened here. Ooh, that was fault of the 45 again.
Is that Pete Woodrum that he gets into that time?
Yes, it is.
I like how the number placement that Pete is going for on top of the car. He's got the one really crooked, really yawed out there on. Yes, Chris, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, Selner ends up there's nowhere to go.
Yes, the gray car is colliding there. Caleb just an innocent bystander whenever the one gets kind of turned around off the nose of the 45.
Let's see, Austin Moore in the 45. Let's go on board with him. I don't know. What do you think, Will?
Just a racing deal, really. You know, everybody trying to give each other space, but I think Woodrum trying to come down, get onto the bottom lane. That's probably where his car is going to handle the best. He's trying to get down there, and Austin's kind of already. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It feels like Austin was already there, somewhat, but like you said, already the second incident that he has kind of already caused. Already early days in this race, but
On board with Selner. Yeah, just nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm. Tough break.
It's gonna just put us under our second caution on lap number 13 here at Bristol. Jaden Sanchez out front leading still. John Tiller behind him. Chris Cornett top 3. Austin Moore in that 45 has been, well, you could say he's been the cause of both of these cautions. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
New Hampshire's next week, Chris, so we're going just a half mile more and flatter next week at New Hampshire.
Coming up to my yard.
So, yep, the Magic Mile.
Lights are off on the pace car. They've been doubled back up.
We get to restart here at lap number 15. Getting through with the second caution, like you said, so.
James Sanchez already with a good restart. Tiller behind him. They've single filed out. Behind them is side by side Chris Cornett and Austin Moore.
Austin now on the top side. We've seen him down on the bottom, so Everybody's car is going to handle differently in different lanes here. There's at least 3 good lanes you can run here at Bristol. The middle, the top, and the bottom. It all depends on how good your car is going to be. And like we kind of saw with the first caution of the race, Archibald was almost wanting to straddle that middle line. And Austin just kind of, like he said, Chris kind of just drove right through him once he got there to his bottom. But that's just part of short track racing. People give windows up opportunity, they will take it.
Give an inch, take a mile.
Or just racing in general. Go ahead.
So give an inch, take a mile.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, a smackety smack to the wall by Austin Moore coming out of turn number 4. This track is not fully symmetrical either, Chris. So like both ends of the track is a little bit oddly shaped from the other. It can look a bit deceiving if you don't look at it correctly from above a track map, you know, so.
Chris Cornett slams the wall.
Oh, that's a, yeah. Maybe the next lap by it'll be a Bridgman's turn, so out of this 3-car battle pack for 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Pearson
A little bit further back in the field. Yep.
Right behind them, Selner and Myers. Side by side, Selner holding up top, keeping that run going out through the corners, even with the damage on that car. Oh, we got one around. That's Bridgman.
Oh, that is Bridgman.
Will with the
tough impact as well. That right front toe is going to be knocked out. Let's see the replay here, Chris, of what transpired. He was riding in 5th position, and oh, he just had a twitchy moment coming out of turn number 4 and trying to possibly get back to the throttle. Oh, Caleb involved in it again. Gets kind of launched up in the air by Archie. So you're just going to see the 48 snap loose on the corner exit, probably, like we say, just trying to burp it to get back into turn number 1, give it enough gas, right, Chris? And he just, bad timing, right? Spins the tires, goes into a slide, and Caleb again, nowhere to go, Selner, and gets lifted up off the ground by Archie. Both those drivers were trying to have a drive-back recovery, but it doesn't, that could be the end of the day for all 3 of those drivers, Chris.
Man, there was some close calls in there too.
Well, for sure they were.
Huntley just barely got through. Who's that? Campbell just barely got through that. But, oh, just hard contact there.
Almost reminds you of like Danica Patrick at Kansas with Eric Amarola.
Danica Patrick at anywhere with anyone.
Yeah, good point.
Man, just kind of pile in there.
Third caution early on, a little bit of a caution breeding caution fest here in the early days still of this race. Bristol can be that way until they get a little bit, until they get a feel for it, right, Chris? Like you said, you got to get that temperature build up. You need at least 15, 20 laps for that to happen fully here at Bristol concrete surface. So maybe a little bit longer than, 15, 20 laps, maybe 25, and then the car might be optimal,
Brian Huntley up here in the top 5, trying to rebound from last week. He's just about robbed of a podium finish right on the last lap. Just trying to rebound from that. Currently sitting in 5th place.
Bristol's one of those races, Chris, where you almost, if you're not, if you don't have a, top 1, 2, maybe 3 car, then you just got to let the race come to you, right? It's definitely one of those tracks where if you can't ever be fantastic here, if you're just average, that's great. Like, you just gotta, as long as you don't lose a lap at Bristol, if you can just be always consistently on the lead lap, that's all it takes really to have a chance, I do believe. So I'm gonna get the restart here, lap 31. Already kind of seeing almost a bit of attrition here early going, Chris. We have 3 cars sitting in the pits, getting those repairs that they need to be able to get back out to the field. Tough, tight, close quarters battle for 3rd position between Austin Moore and Chris Cornett. Austin puts it back in the fence, trying to just stay within Cornett's reason.
Myers making a move on Pearson. Campbell possibly trying to look on the outside of Pearson. Or, excuse me, Woodrum. We got a couple of cars. These guys liking to slam the wall coming off of the corners.
Either that or they're floating, just floating up the track, flirting with that turn 4 exit. If they're not getting, well, Austin's definitely getting his Bristol stripes or Bristol slaps, right? That's a nice little camera view up in the, you get to see everywhere from way up yonder. Look down into the fishbowl, as Cal Petty would probably call it.
Oh!
More contact being made from the front bumper of the 45. So Chris Cornett just cannot get a good handle on it once he got sent slideways from Austin. Austin seems to have attached the plow on the front of his 45 this evening, Chris.
Oh, we're going to have to see if officials have anything to say with that.
Oh, he walks her up the track on corner entry and just collides with the ally number 5.
Wow, right in front of Huntley. My goodness. We're going to need an onboard with Huntley for that one. Alright, let's see. On board with Brian Huntley. Whoa!
And that was super close.
That happened so fast.
It's amazing how people can even have the time to react to something like this, to, maybe burp the throttle or kind of predict to see this coming just a couple of seconds into the future, right, Chris? So.
Yeah. Wow. Nice work, Brian, getting around that one.
Back to green flag competition, live action. Jaden Sanchez still in the lead, over 6/10 for John Tiller. Brian Huntley in 3rd position, 3 seconds back of the 2 race leaders. Austin Moore in 4th position, and Tyler Myers rounds out the top 5. Pearson probably under Myers back bumper, just trying, maybe looking for a way by Myers. That's one of the closest battles, I think, on track besides Woodrum and Brandon Moore. Brandon Moore getting by Woodrum.
There you go. Sorry, couldn't find it for a minute.
You're all good. Now Brandon Moore setting the sights on Jason Pearson, so closing in on 100 laps to go. It's really this time by, Chris.
100 to go. Well, cranking them out pretty quickly here. Selner down on the apron. That car is all kinds of messed up. 25 laps down. He's going to be a trooper and just push on. You know, Will, with tracks like these, there's no, I mean, if you can continue on, even if you're so many laps down, you never know who else might wreck out, and you could get your laps back over that person and advance your position even more. So, it's never over until it's over, even though it can be tedious just running laps. So many laps down.
Every point matters.
Exactly. When you're going for a championship.
It says Hayfield just went out. Sellner's just got to catch up to him. That's the same principle applies for Bridgman or Archibald, so they can repair those cars in a decent amount of time to be able to get back and just, you know, like he said, gain whatever spots they can. If someone else has a falling out of the race, then hopefully they can gain those spots. Myers trying to close in on the back of Austin Moore.
Like Brandon Moore on the back of Huntley. Trying to take 4th place from him. Huntley's going to keep it on the high side. Brandon Moore's got just enough to clear him. He slams the door. Huntley stays right on him. But Moore's just got too much. He's going to leave Huntley in the dust. Moore's going to have his sights set on John Tiller. Moving in quickly.
Oh, for sure, Moore's there all over the back of the 27. But Jaden's kind of drove away. He's almost got 5 seconds, and this battle that is ensuing is going to help Jaden drive away a little bit further too. So as they're trying to put a lap on Chris Cornett. We have 3 cars currently, 1 lap down. Christopher Campbell, Jason Pearson, and Chris Cornett. Justin Steves is in the danger zone. Brandon Moore gets by John Tiller.
Oh! Cornett throwing it into the fence, trying to stay out of Tiller's way. Oh, and that one car, Woodrum, gets loose off the corner. He collects it up, though. making his way through lap traffic. Cornet having trouble keeping it off the wall through the corners. And the caution is out for Austin Moore again. Oh boy. Take a look here. It's like Hunsaker and Austin. Oh, Austin gets up into the wall, comes down across the track, and grabs Hunsaker's rear quarter, sends him around. Oh man, that feels like it was still possibly avoidable. Let's take a look on board with Austin Moore. Let's go on his helmet cam actually.
Oh, the A-frame post right to, oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
I mean, he could have jerked it back to the right a little more to not.
The wall kind of sponged him out.
Yeah, but I mean, he
yeah, I
he
do
could have
agree
pulled
with
a little
you.
hard
I
to
do
the
agree.
right.
Yeah, as soon as he gets sponged out, he could have jerked it back to the right. I get what you're saying. I agree with it. I see it from both sides.
He would have had to throw himself in the fence, but wouldn't have taken Hunsaker with him. Right there, he should have kept turning right. Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
I see your. Yep.
One more look. So that's gonna be. Oh boy, is that number 4? We're on the 4th caution. Is that number 4 for Austin Moore, or was that 3? I think he was in the last one as well.
Austin's been in a few battles tonight, and we're at the halfway point as well, Chris. So what type of strategy will be played at this point in the race? Who's going to come down, get a set of tires? It could be the final time of asking for anyone to come down, if you think about it, Chris, if you do come down at this point. So, well, what do you do? 7 cars on the lead lap. Campbell's probably going to get the free pass because I believe he was just lapped. So, what do you do?
I don't know. Let's see, when was the let's bring out our pit graphic and see when the last pit was. 72 for the
So
top
they just
6
pitted
of them.
here.
Yeah. And what'd you say the window is?
120 to 130 is the fuel window.
Oh yeah, no more reason to stop for fuel then.
Did they just pit? No, the front. Yeah, I read that wrong. I think you're correct. So
Austin, we're going to drop to the end of the line.
Yeah, I was about to say Selner did the same thing. He still aiding that ailing car. Oh, Campbell was in pits, so I guess he's not going to get the free pass.
More all over Sanchez's back bumper.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Going to be working hard. They're going to be going for the lead.
You know, these two finished first and second in, where were we, Thursday? I'll remember it. Don't worry. It happened. I believe it. I was there.
I wasn't.
So
side by side behind them, that's Tiller and Myers trying to fight for the final podium spot, and Tiller's got it right now. Myers all over his back bumper, coming across the line, heading down into turn number 1 now. Tillers has him clear. He's going to be able to close the door, and he does.
Pearson and Chris Burnett are the only 2 cars 1 lap down at the moment, and they are battling for the lucky dog position. So they're both hoping and praying that a caution could come out right now. If it happens, one of these guys, whoever gets it, you know, they will be back on the lead lap, because it's a fierce battle at the moment between these 2. Brandon Moore still all over the back of Jaden, as John Tiller, I do believe, is still there with Brandon, hasn't driven away. And Myers, you know, so throw a blanket over the top 5, might as well say, and Woodrum comfortably in that 6th position. I think Justin might have got the wave around. I think he might have just gotten lapped, so I think Justin might have been the wave around recipient. I could be wrong.
Myers and Tiller still fighting. Myers looking on the low side.
Floated up. I tell you, Myers is looking every way possible, but now being under fire from Huntley.
Got a 3-way battle brewing for a 3rd spot. Oh, a little bit of contact between Myers and Tiller. Huge run off the corner from Myers. Tiller gives him the room. Myers.
Spellner put around reminds me of a 1980s racer, like something from the 70s, seeing somebody with a lot of damage put around, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, we lost Myers for a minute. Oh, there he is. He's back.
Huntley going to work on Tiller now.
$60 laps remaining. Chris, being a short track competitor like yourself, what's the mindset with 60 laps to go?
Well, for my mindset at 91 of 150 is we still got a long ways to go, so I'm still just settling.
Exactly.
I'm not really making any plans to go for anything yet. I don't even, if it's something way over 100, or I usually look at like 100 as a milestone, and we're not even there yet, so
I agree.
For me personally, I'm not even thinking about it yet, but Huntley is thinking about getting by Tiller. Saw him just all over his back bumper. Looked like almost made a bit of contact.
Well, Bristol is such a quick lap time around here, right, Chris? So you can really knock the laps off really, really quickly if you get into a long green flag run. So there you see another bumper applied.
On board with Huntley. Brandon Moore continuing to chase down Sanchez. Jaden Sanchez in first place. Got 3/10 between them right now. Myers holding on to third. Tiller's trying to get that spot back from him. They swapped back and forth a few times. Huntley keeps poking his nose into the battle on and off. And we've got one around. Oh! It's a 24 of, who's the 24? Justin Steves.
Justin Steves.
Oh my goodness, what is he doing? Why didn't he just back it up? Oh my goodness.
Justin was on the lead lap before this happened.
Let's take a look. Oh, Hunsaker makes contact with Moore. Oh, and there goes Moore.
Another innocent bystander getting wrapped up in the dramas here this evening. And oh, I think Sellner got another piece. I think it might have been Sellner. It was one of the gray cars this evening, ladies and gentlemen, but
Yeah, it was.
it is Sellner.
Poor guy. Let's see, where's Austin Moore?
I guess Hunsaker just remembered that from earlier and was like, hey, perfect opportunity maybe, or maybe Austin just slightly came down the track as well. Tough one to call there because Hunsaker was there committed to that bottom lane, and just a tough one to call. Don't know if Austin was breaking loose.
Nope, that was Hunsaker's doing.
Yeah. Poor Justin. Really feel for him because he was riding pretty. He was, like I said, he was letting the race come to him. He was truly just, and then wham, just wham, blam. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for coming, Justin.
The thing looks like, maybe it's just because it's like dented in the nose, but right as we're looking at it right now, it looks like a Mitsubishi Lancer.
It does, doesn't it? Let's grab Jason Pearson real quick. If we have enough time, if lights are still on that whatever pace car it is. That Ford Fusion. Ford Falcon. Ford wannabe thing.
Pearson, stand by.
Standing.
Jason Pearson.
Yo.
So you getting back on the lead lap here? What's the battle plan? Is it go time? Is it still ride time? What is it, JP?
It's a little bit of both right now. It's the track's a little rough right now as we speak. I'm just trying to keep it on the bottom. It seemed like a better way around for right now. It's at least on these restarts anyway.
Exactly, and also what goes up must come down, so you don't definitely want to be at least the first impact that you may accidentally drive into, right? There's been a lot of just a lot of overmatching or undermatching everybody's driving styles here this evening. That seems to be the case. So like you said, just kind of got to keep riding it out a little bit more. Maybe 25 to go is probably the amp tune go time tonight. So best of luck to you, JP.
Thank you, sir.
So green flag back out in the air while Chris works on getting JP back to his proper channel. Well, looks like we might have some more trouble. Tyler Myers getting slideways, I do believe, coming out of turn number 2. He's going to drop a handful of positions, Chris, as Brandon Moore is all over the trunk lid of Jaden Sanchez, I do believe. More smoke, so Huntley in third position.
There you go. Hopefully I put him back where he's supposed to go.
I think that smoke is just a effect at this point. So, looking back now to the race lead, Brandon Moore kind of stalking Jaden Sanchez as Brian Huntley maybe could be sitting in the catbird seat in the third position.
Ooh, Moore slams the wall.
Yep, kissed it right there on the exit of turn number 2. So we have 8 cars currently on the lead lap. Justin Steves 1 lap down. Austin Moore and Hunsaker 3 laps down respectively. And let's not forget Caleb Sellner still trying to log laps, 32 laps down. 4 cars out of the race. So kind of a race of attrition it turned in to be with the 16 starters here this evening. But that's almost to be expected with Bristol. Next week, New Hampshire, like we said, the Magic Mile.
Just over 2/3 done with this one, Will. We've had a handful of cautions, but we had, I think, 5 maybe.
5.
But
We are at 5 at the moment.
We're still cranking the laps out really quickly here tonight.
Yeah, we are.
I'm kind of
Getting close to...
yeah. These races are usually a good bit longer, so
Sometimes.
I'm kind of surprised that 150 seems short. I guess given the time that this is taking. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just talking. Watch, I'm gonna have a caution fest now. Stepping on my tongue.
Brian might hear this. Brian might hear this and say, "Oh, they want to be in the booth longer, and they might, you might be asking for trouble." Chris is what I'm trying to get out my mouth.
Well, let's not do that because I do work on Sundays sometimes, so I do have to go to bed.
Brandon Moore still stalking the back of Jaden Sanchez. I know that may sound pretty criminal, but anyway, Huntley trying to keep Tiller at bay as he watches the battle ensue for first and second. So closing in on 30 laps to go, then shortly 25, etc. Crunch time is getting indeed to the pay window.
All over the back bumper of Sanchez is Brandon Moore. He's looking low.
Sanchez kind of floated up a half a lane than normal. That's going to, give an opportunity to Brandon if, he keeps doing that. Jaden, it's just best if you just keep looking out the windshield. I know you want to take, Brandon's line away, but sometimes it's just best to keep doing what you've been doing, the entire time. Now he's doing a somewhat of a diamond / arc, a late diamond exit that Jaden is trying to do, at least on the corner of turn 4, so it seems to be helping him mind Brandon at bay, but I really like that angle. As you see, the sun is setting a little bit here at Bristol. It's getting lower. I don't know if Brian put the lap speed to where it's going to, you know what I'm talking about?
Austin Moore and Matt Hunsaker seem to be beefing a little bit here tonight. I think I just saw a little bit of contact as Hunsaker was getting by Moore.
Well, they are on the same lap, so, they're both 3 laps down, so they are battling for the final spot in the top 10, 10th position, 10th and 11th, so Justin Steves just says, I don't want no part of this. I'm inside the top 10. I could have been, maybe top 5, 7th or 6th position if I didn't get caught up in that melee.
Well,
round number 2 of their bout.
He's the first one lap down, so all he needs is a caution that he's not involved in, and there you go. 23 laps to go. I wouldn't say it's impossible. Side by side, Cornette and Myers. That is for position. 6th position. Oh, Cornette gets up into the wall. Myers is going to get that spot over him. However, that's not complete pass quite yet. Myers completes it right there. Cornette was looking like he was going to go. Oh, a little bump there.
Cornette's going to give a shot to Myers in the center of the corner, but couldn't do nothing after that.
Looked like they were both indecisive of where they were going to go, high or low, and they ended up getting together a little bit.
20 laps to go this time by for Sanchez at the stripe.
In some lap traffic now, Will. Sanchez having to get by Austin Moore. Moore up on the high side. Now now. Brandon Moore's got to get by Austin Moore.
So a second, might as well, I'm going to say 2 seconds separate the top 3, Sanchez, Moore, and Huntley, as they work and navigate the lap traffic here this evening in the closing laps of this race. Just under 20 laps to go, 18 to go to be exact. 17, my apologies.
Austin Moore just being ruthless here tonight, fighting the leaders. How many laps? Austin Moore's 4 laps down, and he's putting up a fight with second place Brandon Moore.
Yeah, that's allowing Jaden Sanchez to grow his lead to 3 seconds, 3-second lead that Jaden has grown, and Brian has now got to the back of the 88 amp machine.
Yeah, all over the back. That he closed that right up. That hurt Brandon big time.
So 3.5 seconds is the new lead for Jaden in 14 laps to go in this race.
So with 13 laps to go, Sanchez out front. He's just hoping for some no cautions, as he's got a couple of lap cars side by side. He's stuck behind him. That's going to hold him right up. Cornette gets into the wall. Hunsaker's down low. He is stuck behind these two. He has got nowhere to go, Will.
He may have nowhere to go, but just at the moment, Brandon can't close in the gap because I think he's still struggling with Huntley.
Man, that is an opportunity missed, because he was just straight up stuck behind them with nowhere to go. Unfortunate that Brandon could not capitalize on that. And now look at Brian all over his back bumper. Brian not afraid to put the bumper to people tonight, not wrecking anyone, but we've seen him actually make contact with people's rear bumpers plenty of times. Oh, look at that as I'm speaking. Drives right into him, gets him a little bit loose and not enough to wreck him. Brian up there in third. He says, I'm owed a podium from last week. I want better than third, though. I want that big W.
Well, Chris, unless a caution comes out here late in the going, I don't think we're going to see anybody catch up to Jaden unless Jaden makes a horrible mistake.
So I think Brian's plan is probably either force a mistake out of Brandon Moore, or, just get him loose enough to get by him without wrecking him. Brian really...
Indeed, because now we only have 5 cars on the lead lap.
Really putting the pressure on him. Tiller getting stuck by Austin Moore.
4.5 laps to go now for the race leader, Jaden Sanchez, as he's going to come by, get 4 laps to go at the stripe, while that intense battle is still brewing for second place. 6, almost 7 seconds back that they have now fought and lost from Jaden.
So it's not...
John Tiller and Pete Woodrum is in an intense battle of their own for 4th position as well. So great battles still throughout the field.
This battle getting held up by Austin Moore. Woodrum trying to diamond the corner a bit, but Tiller's right there side by side with Moore. Huntley's starting to lose Brandon Moore. 2 laps to go.
White flag about to be in the air for Jaden. And it is. Checkered flag waving, coming off of turn number 4. Jaden Sanchez wins it. Who's going to get second, though? Brandon Moore has a few car lengths gap to Huntley.
It's going to be Brandon
Battle for
Moore.
4th and 5th. Pete Woodrum. John Tiller rounds out the top 5 there.
Jaden Sanchez is going to bring it home on the podium in first place tonight. Your final results: Sanchez winning tonight at Bristol. Second place, Brandon Moore. Brian Huntley puts it on the podium in third place, bouncing back from that disappointment from last week at Daytona. Fourth place is Pete Woodrum. Fifth place is John Tiller. Tyler Myers ends up 6th. Chris Cornett 7th. Jason Pearson 8th. Justin Steves is 9th. Matthew Hunsaker is 10th. Austin Moore is 11th after getting in trouble a lot tonight. Caleb Sellner is 12th. 13th is Chris Campbell. 14th is Clint Hayfield. 15th is Philip Bridgman. 16th is Samuel Archibald. Well, Will, I call this one of those races where I can't wait to see the post-race report.
Exactly. Like, it was a pretty good race, I'd have to say, for Bristol. 150 laps. Maybe Brian could have done 200 tonight, because it just seemed like we could have had a little bit more there. What if Brandon didn't get held up there? Him and Huntley got into that intense battle there in the closing stages. What if it was 200 tonight? Maybe just give me 50 more next time we come to Bristol, perhaps. Please, maybe. Or maybe, we only had, 6 cautions tonight? 5 or 6? Out of a lot of people were predicting, 15, 10, some odd cautions like that. So glad to see that it didn't turn into something like that, right, Chris? So great to see.
Yeah, definitely nice to see it when it can go green like that. I feel like there's some kind of miscalculation on the lap count, just time-wise. Even regardless of having, if we did have a bunch of cautions, we're still pretty quick on time here tonight. But that'll give us some time to talk to drivers, so no worries there. But in the meantime, let's take a quick break while we gather our final drivers. And we'll be right back. Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. We have our top 3 finishers here with us. Let's kick it off with Brian Huntley. Brian bringing it home on the podium, bouncing back from last week's podium. You were practically owed. So great to see you up there, battling hard. We saw you were not afraid to put the nose to the drivers if they were holding you up a bit, not wrecking anyone, but aggressive driving. Love to see it. Brian, tell us how your night went.
Well, the honest truth, I was just riding. This track is tough. It is very tough. Tire wear, we were all going after tire wear. Brandon and Jaden had about an extra 5 to 10% better tires than I did. So I was just trying to get in a rhythm. I know there were some iffy things that went on. Almost got caught in the Phillip wreck. I had to jerk my wheel real quick, but, that's a good rebound, especially from last week, that's for sure.
Will, what do you got for him?
So, yeah, Brian, you were like in the top 6 to top 5, pretty much just letting the race come to you, right? It's a short track. And that's what you've done normally if you've not started on the front row like you have at Martinsville or other places in the past, right? You just let the race come to you. So you got in third, and you applied so much pressure to Brandon, and you just you and him after Austin was kind of holding you guys up. You guys just started battling after Jaden finally drove away, right? And just couldn't get by Brandon. But were you thinking, you know, you nudged him once going through 3 and 4. Were you like, oh, maybe I don't need to do that tonight? Richard was telling me thanks, Will, and right after he said thanks, Will, he said, oh shit, and he hit somebody that he was parked in the middle of the track, so he crashed out.
No. Hey, can we just like think? You know what I just thought about? Like if I did
I'm depressed now.
If I
told you it was depression.
I'm depressed.
Hey,
Damn
Will,
it,
you know
Will.
those app things? If I hadn't gotten suspended for walking Glen, bruh, I probably would have been the points leader in this, or at least close. If I would have, you know, because I had a really good setups for Las Vegas.
Jaden, I'm gonna get my BB gun out real quick and pop that freaking head of yours.